We are Gold Ivy.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what creates space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production.
We're coming at you with important information, warnings, and a solution. Sharing health and wellness gold with you is what we do. And so when we learned alarming information about devices that we routinely use, and we know you do too, we have to share it with you.
What most people don't realize is that the electronic devices we're using, cell phones, Wi-Fi, laptops, and Bluetooth, emit electromagnetic fields, or EMFs. The devices we're holding by our brains, on our skin, by our reproductive parts are emitting EMFs, and prolonged exposure to EMF radiation has been associated with potential health concerns, including neurological effects, impacts on reproductive health, and sleep disturbances.
Those studies alone are a cause for pause. But also, the International Agency for Research on Cancer that operates under the World Health Organization has classified non-ionizing EMFs produced by electronic products like cell phones, smart devices, and tablets a possible human carcinogen. Yikes.
And our solution? SafeSleeve. SafeSleeve anti-radiation products are designed to give you peace of mind of knowing you and your devices are protected while making your devices even easier to use. All of their anti-radiation products incorporate their lab-tested shielding technology that can block over 99% of RF and 92% of ELF radiation. And that's important because the vast majority of products that claim to block EMF radiation either don't have any testing at all, or they only block a small portion of the harmful frequencies.
We absolutely love the sleek look of these stylish products. They come in a variety of styles and colors. For our phone cases, I picked black, Andrea picked tan, and they include a built-in wallet with RFID protection and a magnetically detachable inner case. They're also anti-radiation products for tablets, iPad, and laptops.
We are pumped because we have been looking for a brand to help protect ourselves and our loved ones from this radiation for months. My kiddos have the iPad cases. Searching for a brand with stylish phone cases, colorful iPad colors, and functional headphones for our workouts so that we can enjoy our devices but also not have to worry about how they're harming us.
And without a doubt, it's time to protect ourselves. Grab your SafeSleeve phone case today and any of their other groundbreaking products at safesleevecases.com and use our code GOLDIVY for 15% off. Keeping the flu and common cold out of your household is important whether you're 5, 35, or 95, and we're going to tell you the easiest and most delicious way to do just that. It's with All Things Elderberry, a woman-owned business that has all-natural, vegan-friendly, and gluten-free elderberry products.
And when we say products, we mean a variety of delicious and beautiful products, not just for you, but for your entire household to get an immunity boost. If we had to pick our favorite product, I'm going with organic elderberry gummies. My kids are obsessed. We're trying to avoid sickness from school and make sure they can participate in their sports, so they take one every morning before they brush their teeth. They think the gummies taste like a mix of grape and cotton candy. I tried them too, and I can see why they ask for them every day. I love that they're boosting their immune system at the start of their day.
My favorite All Things Elderberry product is the elderberry green tea paired with the elderberry honey. The green tea gives me a midday boost, and the honey gives the tea extra sweetness. I also put the honey in my morning coffee instead of creamer. So good. All Things Elderberry is my solution for staying healthy before traveling, avoiding frequent colds and sinus infections, really just maintaining my health all year round.
What sets this brand apart from the others is there are no artificial additives in All Things Elderberry. Their elixir is made with organic, Missouri-grown elderberries, raw honey, and whole spices.
Elderberries not only help with immune support, but may also slow the aging process with their powerful antioxidants, improve skin health, and can shorten the duration of severity of colds and flu.
Visit allthingselderberry.com to explore their full range of immune-supporting products. Stay healthy and feel your best naturally. Use our code GOLDIVY at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's code GOLDIVY at checkout for 15% off your first order. And now to this episode of the Ivy Unleashed podcast.
Welcome back to the Ivy Unleashed podcast. We're kind of itchy over here. We're talking about lice. We're talking about just the real life things that I have to look forward to, God willing, someday when I become a mother.
You know, when you have a lice scare in your house, any mom out there, it is, I was just saying, I'm like the most thorough. If there's a lice scare, I treat everybody in the house as thoroughly as possible. I wash my carpets. I take my pillows out of the rooms. They sit in the garage in garbage bags. Like no stone is left unturned.
And that makes me feel better because when you hear lice, you immediately get a little itchy. And I was wearing these kids' hats and hugging them and loving on them. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of itchy. But hearing that, it just settles the mind. And whew.
I'll check your head and I can treat you like you wouldn't believe if I do find anything.
Nothing says love more than checking me for lice. And that just brings me so much peace and joy. And that's what we want to talk to you about today is our mental health.
It's May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. This is like our favorite month because this is why we created Ivy Unleashed, just to help people with their mental health because it's everything.
Mm-hmm. Literally everything. Mm-hmm. We started this in a time where I was really, really struggling with my health and I was bopping around from doctor to doctor and spending a lot of money that I didn't have, and my mental health was suffering greatly and the stress was so high, and I knew the only way to make it make sense was to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And to get it out of my body into the masses of the world, knowing that I wasn't alone and hoping and praying that someone needed to hear my message in hopes that it helped them too.
Yeah. And I think just like you said, just talking about, like you and I just sitting here talking about it, being open about your struggles, being open about the things that you're kind of thinking that might be against the norm. Like, for me, it's saying alcohol's not serving me anymore. It was like such a huge part of who I was, and I loved having a beer and I loved, that social aspect. And it was so a part of every week of mine, and nothing like it was a problem. Like I had a drinking problem, but it was something that I knew it was making me more anxious, or I knew it was making me more tired or whatever. And then going against the norm and talking about it, being like, I'm thinking about not doing this anymore, and whether that's alcohol or if that's not hanging with a certain group of people anymore, or it's going to a different church, or it's something that really shakes up the norm, it creates these big waves that are really tough to handle.
Mm-hmm. But here's what I've learned, and I feel like what I keep learning again and again. The good things in life aren't the normal things. And the extraordinary life and the peaceful life and the big, beautiful life that we are after and that we want to live is going against the norm. Is the not drinking, is the not overspending, is the not running ourselves to the bone. These things that are so normal in our society that me and you are taking a step back and being like, why? Why does it have to be this way? Why is it normal to be exhausted and have to pump our bodies full of caffeine? Mm-hmm. Like, what if we just felt okay and energized?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when it does feel like there's something needs to shift, it's all about alignment with yourself. Like, what is your truth? And it is going to be different than everybody else. And that's the tricky part. Mm-hmm. The tricky part is saying, this doesn't work for me. I see it's working for you. It just doesn't work for me. And like, I'm going to make a shift, and that's my journey, but sometimes it's, you got to talk to the person that you're in a household with, a marriage with, a best friendship with, or, decades of being their sibling, or, whatever it might be. And I think that requires another level of taking care of your mental health. It's like acknowledging the truth of how you're really doing, saying it. That takes some courage, right? Knowing that can shift and change things. But that long game is what you want, of like, I feel so much better now. I have such a more peaceful relationship now that I set this boundary, that I expressed how this works and this family isn't working for me, or marriage or friendship, whatever it is. People ultimately respect that. People respect you being truthful and honest, and it gives them permission to do the same. And it's not always easy. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like that person that shakes things up a lot. I have my whole life. I've been like, I feel like always going against the current.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. I could cry about it.
And it also is powerful, and it's changing so many lives. And I think that there is that give and take of why you have to take care of yourself so well, because I don't want to say it's a fight, but it is energy. And if you don't have energy, it's really hard to stand in your truth and to be confident. And I think about, it's easy to just go with the flow and to be quiet and to people please. And so when we think about mental health, it really comes from your physical health. And do you have the energy to have the courage to live your truth so that you can feel aligned, right? It's like this domino piece. And when my mental health is trash and in the toilet, like I'm not myself. And the minute I take a step back and I close social media, or I say, okay, who cares how everyone else is living? Like, what actually brings me peace? Am I being true to those things so that I can be okay? And that's what we want to talk about today is, you know, our top 3 things that we're living and breathing right now that are giving us this peace. And in the midst, we will talk about the hardships and the truths. And, you know, it's not easy, but it's so worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I already hinted at one of mine, something that's given me so much peace. You know, by the time this airs, it'll have been about 8 months since I haven't drank alcohol. So I would say that's my number one so far of like this year, what's really given me peace and clarity and like the level-headedness to take some bold action and be more intentional is having kind of my time back, my energy back, my clarity back, just by not drinking, like removing something. It's not, sometimes it's not always like adding things in. Sometimes it's like taking
I was
things
literally
out.
just thinking that.
Yeah.
Like every podcast that I listen to, and that's why I would get really overwhelmed in the beginning of having my own podcast, is like we would listen to all these other podcasts and get ideas. And I'm like, one more thing to add to my list that really what helps with my mental health is removing things, removing alcohol. Like it doesn't always have to be adding in and more and more and more. It's like, what if the idea was less?
Yeah. And it's crazy because I feel like I removed something, but I created so much space. It's almost like I decluttered a house is how I feel. I feel like I would like clean the house all week. And on the weekend, I would throw a bunch of trash in it. And then the next week I would be cleaning it up. That's kind of how it felt. It was like I had this like cloud of haziness for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I would finally feel awesome on Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'd be like, all right, who wants to hang out and have some drinks again? You know, it was just like this cycle. And I feel like I've lifted this like cloud.
This veil.
Yeah, it's like this like clear skies. What do we want to do? It's brighter. It's happier. And ultimately, it's less anxiety because that was something that I shared last season that I was working through with my therapist. And she was like, yep, I diagnosed you with some type of anxiety that was
Generalized
like
anxiety.
Yeah, it was like, and it was like situational too. Some things made it worse, but in general, heart would race, lots of thoughts, and alcohol being gone has helped a ton. So that's number one for me. That is what has definitely been helping me this year. How about you?
So my number one is getting organized with money. I feel like the minute you just rip the Band-Aid off, whatever's causing you so much pain, when you sit with it and get a game plan and just start taking small steps, like that approach has done wonders for me. Like money was this big thing post-college, super broke, and then you're adding on trying to find health answers. And, you know, at that point you're like, money or health? Money or health? What do I want? And I'm like, okay, health. It's a no-brainer. And then I'd get my health back a little, and then I'd realize this debt, and I'd be like, oh my God. And then it was like this thing that I just couldn't balance. I'd have my health, and I would have a bunch of credit cards, or I would start paying it off, and then my health would go. And I just could not find this groove, this balance. And so this year, that's really been my big goal. I've listened and read so many audiobooks, regular books, just consumed content about this to like try and motivate me. And a super simple approach. You know, a lot of people hate Dave Ramsey, but I'm sorry. His approach is working for me. And I think hands down that has given me so much peace, knowing where my money's going, knowing I am making progress, knowing what I'm saving for. Like now I'm saving for a wedding, and I just feel like anyone who is in a financial hardship, like it just sucks. It zaps your joy and your peace, and it consumes my thoughts. And now that I have a plan and I'm working towards it, I'm energized and I know what I'm going towards. I have these goals in place. I have these little like celebrations and things I'm doing once I do pay off the debt. And it's freeing. Like financial freedom is huge. And going back to it's going against the norm. Like I'm not using a credit card. I sat Ian down and I'm like, I do not want to be a credit card family. Like I want to go in the car dealership and pay in cash. Like that is my ultimate goal. And that I feel like is so badass. And I think about anything I've done thus far that has brought me this peace and joy. It is going against the norm. It is stopping drinking. Mm-hmm. Now it's, I think it's like 85% or some crazy number of American households are in crazy debt. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want to be.
It's so easy to be in debt.
So easy.
That's the thing is like this takes intentionality. But it sounds like with Dave Ramsey's approach that, because like you said, you've read a lot of the books and like we have shared these financial books together, but a lot of it is like a super complicated process of like, okay, go to this website and then do this and then do this. You want to build your credit score, but you want to do, and I feel that the way that you're talking about that this is like bare bones, get it down. Just zero, like don't complicate this.
No, make it literally as easy as possible. Like first of all, know what the debt is, place it smallest to largest, pay off the pay the minimums for each, and then just snowball effect. And every time you pay something down, like, ooh, it's a win. Ooh, it's a win. And I do this, like I look at it every single day. I think that's the biggest key is I'm tracking my money every day. I have goals that I'm after and I know how close I am to that. I'm texting Andrea our numbers. I'm texting Ian numbers. Like I am obsessed with paying things off, with saving, with building. And it's become like a fun hobby that I've totally swapped it from stress and anger and guilt and shame to like, ooh, F yeah, look at me. Let's go. That's like, so what can we do? And it energizes me where my old view and mindset of it was so depleting and like depressed and just like that sinking in where now it's like, yes. And every day I see it and I see the progress. And I think that's with anything goal related. Like you have to track it every single day.
And another key thing, again, that we were talking about before is talking about it, like saying the numbers, not having guilt and shame about where you're at. It's the truth. It's where you're at. It's the number. Look at it.
Yes.
See it.
Yes. Take the emotions out of it and just like, this just is what it is. This is the plan and follow the plan. And when emotions do start going and I'm like, oh, and the comparison, oh, I want to buy that. It's like, okay, if you want that, like, how can I gamify it?
I love that.
So that would be my biggest one. Highly recommend. Cut up those credit cards. Dave Ramsey, shout out. Sorry to people listening who don't like Dave Ramsey, but there are a lot of great things and you have to find what works for you. Mm-hmm. And I have hope where when it came to money, I like had zero.
You're like, I'll never be out of this.
No.
Climbing this mountain.
Yes. So for anyone who has felt that way or still does, like it's possible. And, let's do this thing.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. Well, something that I'm doing that it's reminding me of what's really helping my mental health. Like this is about knowing thyself, right? You knew that was the mountain that you needed to like
know
climb,
thyself. Yes.
And knowing myself, I am super competitive.
Mm-hmm. Hey everyone, Brooke here. One of my biggest goals for 2025 is to improve my energy. And I know I'm not alone in that. I also know I'm not alone in what I'm about to say next. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I look forward to is my morning cup of coffee. What I don't look forward to is how much I rely on it to get me through the day and the stomach upset and crashes that come with it. I know it's hard on my hormones, energy, and stress levels, but man, is it a hard habit to break. Can anyone else relate? I want quick and easy, and I want energy. Saying goodbye completely to caffeine is out of the question for me, but trying it in a new way, that I'm open to. So let me tell you about my new obsession, Everyday Dose. Would you believe me if I told you my new morning cup of energy includes the following, and all in one simple scoop? We've got L-theanine, an amino acid that works to increase focus, balance insulin levels, metabolism, and lower stress and cortisol. We've got low acidity coffee extract, finally coffee that doesn't give me a stomach ache. Collagen protein to improve my gut health, skin, and nails. Chaga, a type of mushroom that supports immune system. And my favorite, Lion's Mane, a natural nootropic that helps reduce brain fog and boost my mood. In addition to it being the easiest and most effective morning routine, it's free of artificial sweeteners, additives, mycotoxins, and mold. I feel at ease knowing what's going in my body, all while feeling energized, calm, and focused all day. Check out their coffee starter kit. It comes with free gifts every month like a frother, gunmetal spoon, breathwork app, and more. Join Andrea and myself as we start our year and all 365 days with Everyday Dose. Visit everydaydose.com/goldivy and get your coffee starter kit delivered straight to your door. Use our code GOLDIVY to get up to 30% off your first order.
Who wants to know what I discovered that's an absolute game changer with my hormones, stress level, and quality of my sleep? I am not one to talk about supplements, but after learning all about magnesium, I have to fill you in. In May of last year, I tested my hormones and my doctor explained to me that most women are deficient in magnesium, how important magnesium is, and how the brand of magnesium matters. First, magnesium is involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions in your body. Cortisol regulation, take magnesium. Better sleep, magnesium. Muscle soreness and recovery, magnesium. Combat depression and anxiety, magnesium. The list of magnesium's benefits go well beyond those examples. I asked for the best brand of magnesium and my doctor said hands down, Smidge. She prefers Smidge because it's super clean and made in small batches. No fillers or common allergens, and non-GMO. Smidge's magnesium is made with a premium form of magnesium called glycinate complex. After taking the 100 milligram capsule of Smidge Evening Magnesium every night for just a week, I noticed how much better I felt in the morning. Melatonin and other sleep aids can make me groggy or give me weird dreams. Smidge's magnesium has improved my energy levels, reduced my anxiety, and my digestive health has never been better. I do my best to take it every single night to keep reaping all the benefits. I'm telling you, Smidge Magnesium is a game changer. The majority of adult women are deficient in magnesium, and we don't want you to be one of them. To experience the health benefits of Smidge Evening Magnesium as soon as possible, go to getsmidge.com or find the link in the show notes and be sure to use code GOLDIVY10 for a 10% discount. That's getsmidge.com and code GOLDIVY10 at checkout and let us know how great Smidge Magnesium makes you feel as well. I like to run a race. I like to run it fast. I like to, if someone wants to play a game, I will win. And if I don't win, I want to keep playing till I do. Mm-hmm. I am just, that's who I am. And, you know, some people you can take it as a negative thing, you can take it as a positive thing. For me, it's just who I am. Mm-hmm. I'm a competitor. And so I decided to gamify my year of I'm going to beat myself with some stats every month. So in January, I started tracking the miles that I'm running because at the end of the year, I saw a bunch of people that said like, oh, this year I ran this amount of miles. And I was like, I don't even know how many miles I ran this year. Can you imagine what that number probably is? How cool to look at that. Mm-hmm. So that's what inspired me. So I started tracking just an Excel doc, 3 columns, miles, amount of strength training a month. So like any session that's more than 10 minutes of strength training, I count it as as strength training, and then my yoga. And I've been putting this in our Move group.
I've been wondering why you've been coming to yoga every week.
I've been putting this in our Move group just to show people like, this is my accountability too. Like I'm using our discussion board in our Move membership platform to show people what I'm doing and how I'm encouraging myself or motivating myself. And I like numbers. And so, January, February, March, and April so far, that's what I'm working on. This month is the first month that I've gotten at least 2 yoga sessions in. And so I'm getting my miles up. You know, now I'm going to be picking up training for marathoning. And so those numbers will keep going up.
And even more reason for yoga. How's the body feeling with some regular yoga?
Oh my gosh. Every time I do yoga with Brooke, I'm like, that felt so good. And it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not my go-to. Neither is strength training. It's not my go-to. It's not like I'm like, I love that. Sure, I look forward to that. It's always running that I look forward to. But when you know these things make you feel good, set up a system to compete with yourself if you're competitive or you're a visual person, you like to cross it off or you like to do the tally or whatever it is for you that you're like, okay, I know myself. This is what I like to see, do, feel. And for me, it's like, I crushed this month compared to last month. Or even if it's 1 mile more, I'd take it as a win. And, in these 4 months, there was a month that I went backwards in strength or something. And so it's not going to be perfect, but I know that it drives me. And, recording this, it's starting a new month. It's May, and April, I crushed the first 3 months of the year. So it just makes me feel good about myself. So the reason I'm sharing it, why it helps my mental health, is I feel more confident knowing I'm doing things that are good for me. Some of them I'm not looking forward to, but I did them anyway. I know I need yoga for mobility and flexibility, and I know it helps me running. I know it helps just aches and pains. Strength training's boosting my metabolism. I look better. And then running, I always feel better after a run. It's my jam. And so just seeing those miles go up is really fun. And it's fun to talk about with my kids too.
I love that. Prioritizing the things that bring you joy, like running, and also challenging yourself with the things that maybe you don't love, but you want them a part of your routine. You want them consistently a part of your routine. So how can you make that happen? And gamifying it is such a great way. My second one is the prioritizing joy piece of like tapping back into know thyself. Like, what do I love that I need to make just like a non-negotiable? And yoga is a huge one. I want to go to the 6 a.m. yoga classes, and it's so hard for me to get out of bed. I already teach one on Fridays at 6 a.m. And so in my mind, I'm like, it just makes sense. Like, just get on this schedule. Like, get up at 5 a.m., be the 5 a.m. human that you want to be. But it's been a challenge. So I am really trying hard to get to bed earlier and to set a routine, which this kind of goes into my third one. So I'm just going to kind of combine the two, okay? I can make my own rules. This is my podcast.
That's
okay.
right.
So second one, prioritizing joy. So doing things like yoga. And then with that is the structure of actually having a routine. I felt like for a long time I was in and out of corporate America, and I was serving, and like I didn't really have structure on my days. And as someone who know thyself, like I need structure. So having a nighttime routine, knowing when I'm turning the TV off, like literally acting like I'm a child and I need these perimeters has been very helpful. Yeah. In the morning, having that morning routine. So now knowing, okay, if I'm going to get up for yoga, like what does that look like? What do I know that I'm doing? And journaling is a piece of that. So in this new structure that I'm creating, journaling of gratitude, writing my goals, so the money goals in there, and then today's top 3. Like, what are the 3 big priorities or the 3 things that are going to move me in the direction I want to go? So instead of looking at the million tasks I have to do, just like prioritizing the top 3. That has been huge, because otherwise my mind is just looking at like all of the thousands to-do lists that I have, all of the things. And I'm like, all right, before the day starts, like, let's get grounded. Let's practice some gratitude. Let's think about, okay, let's look at the progress that I'm making on these goals. And then what are just 3 things? They can be simple little things. They can be big. They can be personal. They can be professional. But I know, okay, if I did these 3 things today, it was a win. This is kind of a workaround to it, but something that really brings me joy is having energy. And I feel like I am more joyful and like full of life when I'm not so stinking tired. So something that brings me joy and energy is getting outside. So like the month of May, that's my challenge, is getting outside every day. I normally do, and I just walk. But with teaching so much, I want to get my endurance up and I want to run. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work because of my bad veins. However, something they said was exercise helps. So I'm just going to test the body. I've mapped out a couch to 5K plan. I'm not going to have any like, you have to hit this, but just some like ideas of, okay, today, this is the focus, and I'm just going to see how it goes and slowly, with enjoyment, get back to a little running.
Ooh.
I thought you'd enjoy that one.
That's exciting.
And then the last I would say is having my nights and weekends. So like with the structure, being done with work at 6, thinking about like, what do I want to do tonight? Is it watch a show? Is it go out to eat go out to dinner with Ian? On my weekends, like now they're packed with summer things, but they're things that I want to be doing. And if something comes on my plate that I don't want to be doing, like, it's being okay with saying no. Mm-hmm. Does this bring me joy? Do I want to be doing this? Is it helping me meet my goals, whether it be the joy goal, the money goal, fill in the blank? Or can I be okay with saying no?
That's the thing, again, about alignment, is if you're sitting down, you're thinking about things you're grateful for, your goals, you know what you're working towards, you can have this like clear picture. Does this thing fall in line with these things that daily I'm connecting with and I'm thinking about? This doesn't really like spark anything in me. It's a no. And it's just finding a way to communicate that's probably tricky when.
But that's a good thing that you brought up, is that spark, because when you are so in alignment and you know thyself and you pause, like I think the power of the pause before saying yes, before quick scheduling it in, like, how do I feel? And right now in this like wedding season, I'm very in tune with like songs and how music makes me feel. And I think in a weird way, it's helping in all different areas of life, because I'm looking for that spark that like, ooh, that excites me. And when you're really tired and you're depressed and you don't feel well, like that spark it's non-existent. So like, I think that's the first step, is slowing down, getting to the basics, right? Like we can say all of this, we can say mileage and running and yoga and all of these things, but like, are you taking care and covering your basics first? And for me, like financially, I was in survival mode where I felt like I didn't have the privilege of like being on level playing field. And now that I feel like I am, it's like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah, I would say my last one just has so much to do with my faith. When I think about being grounded and knowing what I'm working towards, and just like that slowing down and all of it. Like I think my streak for my phone is at like 420 days or something of this Bible app.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I've never had more clarity. I've never felt more grounded. I've never felt more peaceful. I've never felt like I know what I'm doing. It's like abundance energy. It's like when you're aligned with the creator of the universe, where nothing is impossible, and you're talking, with me like through prayer in your mornings, at night, all day. I'm listening to more worship music than I've ever listened to. It's like it's almost like you're overwhelmed with gratitude for everything, but also you're in such alignment with the way you want to live your life. And I just feel like I constantly have support in that. Like I feel like I have this channel to Jesus right now that I've like, it's so clear that I'm like, we talk all day, like about what makes sense, what's the right thing to do, how to interact with my kids, how to slow down, how to breathe, how to not react. I feel like just in my day-to-day, I'm so grounded. And I feel like I've said this before, but it feels like things are more in slow motion now, that I'm more firm in my faith and I'm not drinking, that I'm just like, I'm more intentional with my word. I'm more... It's easier to say no to things and not feel bad about it. Like it's easier to, and then when I do say something that's reactive or whatever, it's so easy to be like, whoa, I'm sorry. Whoa, I did not, like I'm really tired, or I have this going on, or sorry, I should have just like, let me back up for a second. It's that alignment again, where I feel like I am firm in who I am and what I believe in, that anything that's kind of against that, it's so obvious. It's so obvious when people are treating you poorly, or you're doing something that is in alignment. Like it's easier to get back to that peaceful place, it feels like. And it's less anxiety too. It's like the peace and the joy that you're looking for. Like to me, it's just way more accessible when I'm grounded in my faith.
That Bible app, man. It's done good things for you.
Oh my gosh, yes. And there's some devotionals in the Bible app too. There's this, I can't think of what her name is, but the name of her devotionals are Manifest Her Daily.
Oh.
And I think I sent you one, but oh my gosh, it's like she's this divorced woman that's like, she's just been through a lot, and she's really like grounded in the Bible, and talks about like the possibilities of life and being patient in the midst of what you want, and like leaning you towards Bible verses that speak to just how abundant this life can really be if you allow it, she's really powerful. So if anybody wants me to send you that devotional or the app or whatever, let me know, because I would love to share it with you. Every day I'm like, this woman, I want to be her best friend.
So it's a separate app, or it's a part of the Bible
It's a part of the Bible app. So in it, you can search like plans, they call them. So it's like a 10-day plan. And then if you want like notifications, it can remind you. I don't do that just because I hate notifications.
See, this is the battle of like, ooh, that would be good. But then it's one more thing. Like I'm trying to, that is my automatic reaction of like, ooh, yes, I get the idea. And I'm like, I love that shit. And then I'm like, oh my God, hold on. Okay, pause, breathe.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I feel like once you're really in tune with your faith, like you notice how like the divine timing of everything too. Like what's in my kids' devotional at bedtime is like exactly what they needed to hear. Like most of the time we laugh when we hear the title because it is just meant to land on that day. And I'm just really into like God's plan, and just, it's almost comical sometimes, just like what lands or what happens with the timing. It's so perfect. And then when it's not, you're like, what is this? But you know eventually it will make sense.
You just gotta sit, be grounded, be patient. That's something that we're still learning here. But the more patient you are, you trust. Like, it only helps with my mental health. Trust.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, okay, I've been trusting, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's when you gotta pray and be like, show me, like with my son a lot, he'll be like, oh, I'm doubting today, about faith or whatever. And I'll be like, just ask God for a sign. Like ask for a sign. Show me you're real. Show me I'm going to be okay. Show me. Just say, show me, and just see what happens in your day. And every day he'll come home and be like, guess what happened? My pencils fell out of my desk and they landed in a cross on the floor. You won't believe it. Like things like that happen. It's so funny. Like,
oh, yeah. I love that. I always do that. And then I see a cardinal. That's my sign. If you ever see my story or our stories with a cardinal, that's why.
Yes. Well, it's fun to talk through these things because in every season there's different things that help us, and we want you all to be okay. If your mental health is not okay, it's your perception of life, right? If you're in fight or flight all the time, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and it's hard when you have kids and business and planning a wedding and all that. There is a lot to do. There's always a lot to do. And so what practices can we have to slow down?
And ask for help.
Ask for help. Talk about it. Get outside. Take some breaths. Just like the slow down, and just like be honest with yourself and other people. And as always, we're here for you. Your mental health means so much to us. That's why we do what we do. And we're going to keep providing you as much value as we can so that you can use whatever serves you in this episode, and whatever doesn't, please leave it. But take what serves you and just put it into action, taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Find that spark. That's my piece of gold.
Oh, yeah. Find your spark. Love that. This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold. We want to thank you and encourage you to celebrate yourself for taking the time to learn and get inspired in your one beautiful life. And if this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to us if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to help support our mission to keep bringing you inspiring stories and guests.
First, following the podcast is important because it helps you never miss an episode. To do this, just go to the Ivy Unleashed podcast show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow.
While you're there, if you'd be so kind to give us a 5-star rating and review and share your favorite episode with a friend, we'd be so grateful for your support.
We are thrilled you're here and are so happy that you're taking time to prioritize your wellness, self-discovery, and growth with us. Additionally, we want to remind you that this podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We are not licensed therapists, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals.